The Smart Schools Online with Smart Computing, Book 7 for Class 7, Computer Studies Video Lesson number 2, Chapter number 1, Computer Software. My dear students, Assalamu alaikum. This is the second video lesson from chapter number 1 of your textbook. In this video lesson, we shall cover application software from page number 9 to 10. The duration of this lesson is 70 minutes. The resources required for this lesson are online with Smart Computing Book 7, pen, blue sheets, notebook, etc. My dear students, I hope that you have already arranged these things with you. Dear students, before proceeding to this video lesson number 2, we shall have a brief recap of the topics that we have covered in the previous video lesson number 1. In the previous video lesson, we covered system software. Students, I hope you are now familiar with the functions of system software, types of system software, operating system and its functions, utility programs, low-level and high-level computer languages, and language processors. Students, if you want clarity on any of these topics once again, I suggest you go back to video lesson number 1 and watch that video lesson again. Dear students, I hope that you are well aware of the topics we have covered in video lesson number 1. What are we going to do in this video lesson? Can you guess? Okay, let's find it out. Students, we have already seen the topics that we have covered in the previous video lessons. The topic that we shall cover in this video lesson are define application software, classify application software into its types, discover software packages, identify customized or tailor-made software. To get an idea of what these things are, let's watch this video together.
This is our last video for our software lesson. In this video, we're going to talk about application software. You might hear application software being called software applications, apps, something along those lines. The application is the reason why you're buying a computer. At least most of us go out to buy a computer because of a specific application or a group of applications. For example, we see this with the consoles, the game consoles. We have things called killer apps, things that people go and buy an entire system specifically for. In the case of, for example, your computer, you might have bought your computer for school. More specifically, you might have bought a computer because of the things that you want on your computer that you can use for school. For example, word processing, presentation software, being able to surf the web. These are the reasons that we buy devices, because we need to get stuff done. And we can break applications into two big categories. We have business applications and we have personal applications. Business applications is the software that we use in order to be more productive, more effective, more efficient at work. It helps us get our work done. Now, keep in mind, as our personal lives and our business lives start to blur, we get some blurring of the lines with some of the software. Most business software is going to come in what we call suites. For example, Microsoft Office suites, Apple iWork, OpenOffice, and I'm even putting Adobe suites in here, although it's not typically put in here, but there's a reason for it, and I'll explain a little bit later. Some popular Office suites. First of all, typical software we find in an Office suite include things like word processing, spreadsheets, presentation software, database software, and emails. Word processing, you're probably familiar with. You launch a program, you can type in there, it does spell check, you can bold, italicize, play with paragraphs, play with spacings. That's your word processing. Spreadsheet is your calculation software. You can do budgets, You can do tracking expenses, those kind of things. You can calculate hours. That's what a spreadsheet does. You put something in this cell, it adds, multiplies, divides, does some sort of functions, and you get an answer. Presentation software, this is your PowerPoint or Keynote. It's used to do presentations. Let's say you have to do a presentation for class or work. This is the death by PowerPoint. Then we have database. Database keeps information. You can access it. You can manipulate it, things like that. Email, I think we all know what email is, hopefully. It is where you send email. You send or receive electronic communications. Microsoft Office, these are the specific names for these programs. So for Microsoft Office, word processing is known as Word. For Apple's iWork, it's known as Pages. For OpenOffice, it's called Writer. Some of you might not be familiar with OpenOffice. OpenOffice is a free Office suite, and I have a link at the end of this video where you can download a copy. It's completely free, pretty powerful, and you can play with it that way. Apple's iWork is Apple's version of the Office. It's very powerful. It is developed for Mac computers, so you're going to be using them on your iMac, on your MacBook Pro, those kind of things. Microsoft Office, you can use that both on your PC, and they also sell Mac versions of this. I will offer this one suggestion, and that is whatever version you're going to pick, whichever suite of software you're going to pick, as well as whatever version of that software, make sure everyone's on the same page. Weird things happen when, even within Microsoft Office, when you go from one version to another version, weird things happen. Even if you're on a Mac and a PC and you're using Office, again, interesting things can occur. So you want to make sure that you're all set up on the same page, the same type of Office suite, as well as the same version. It keeps bizarre things from happening. The spreadsheet, Microsoft Office calls it Excel. Apple iWork calls it Numbers. OpenOffice calls it Calc. Presentation software, we're very familiar with PowerPoint, Microsoft Office. Apple iWork has Keynote. Keynote is incredibly powerful. I don't use it. It is powerful. It has a lot of features. I don't use it mainly because I'm a PowerPoint person, and doing the switch over to Keynote, even though Keynote's a really good program, there's a learning curve there, and usually I just want to get stuff done and not learn how to get it done this way. So Keynote, if you're on a Mac, it's worth checking out. OpenOffice has Impress. Database, Microsoft Office comes with Access. Apple does not have a database program, part of their iWorks. If you are going to play with database on a personal computer, I would suggest FileMaker Pro. It's one of the ones I would use, or I have used in the past. It's pretty simple to use as far as database programs go. OpenOffice has Base. Email, Microsoft Office comes with Outlook. Apple iWork does not have a native email program. However, Macs come with their mail program, which is default for Mac. OpenOffice does not come as of right now with an email program. However, if you need a free, powerful email client program, you can check out Mozilla Thunderbird. Mozilla is the same company, same organization that makes Firefox. Thunderbird is pretty powerful. Some geek trivia for you, because I know how much you guys love the geek trivia. When PCs came out, when the Apples came out, people were like, okay, great, whatever. Now, the geeks are buying them because we're geeks and that's what we do. But the average user was like, I don't care. It wasn't until a killer app came out, a spreadsheet program actually, called Lotus 123. Lotus 123 was the PC's first killer app. This is why people bought the PC. Lotus 123, however, was not the very first spreadsheet program. The first spreadsheet program comes from a gentleman named Dan Bricklin, who's considered the father of spreadsheets, and he created a program called VisiCalc. It was Apple II's killer app. That's why people bought the Apple II. You can secure a download of VisiCalc from Dan Bricklin and IBM if you go to that link that I have on the screen. You can check them out and see what the very first spreadsheet program looked like. Other business software that you might run into, and I said Adobe. The reason why I put Adobe there is because Adobe is a powerhouse when it comes to media development. You have Photoshop, which deals with images and photos. You can do some amazing things with Photoshop. Premiere Pro is a very powerful video editing software program. After Effects is a video graphics and development and design. You can do special effects with Adobe After Effects, and there's a whole bunch of other Adobe products you can check out. If you are on the creative side of business, for example, you're developing web pages or media, you're probably going to be using Adobe. There's other companies out there with other software that you can also play with. Again, you want to make sure your shop is one shop. You don't want to mix and match software in general. Other business software, for example, would be TechSmith Camtasia, which is what I'm using to record and present these presentations. I use Premiere Pro for some other videos where I'm in the studio. You can check that out. Snagit, very powerful screen capturing software. Evernote, check out Evernote. It's actually one of my 5 resources at the end of this video. Evernote, very, very, very powerful. It is a remember everything software program. You can keep your contacts, your to-do lists. Very powerful. There's a really good free version. Again, check it out. It's all cloud-based. We'll talk about cloud-based in the next series of videos. Personal software. This is the stuff that you use for personal use. It meets your individual needs. There's a whole bunch of different categories, and depending on who you read, they break the categories into different groups. Here's a general grouping of categories. We have financial. For example, Quicken, Good Home Budgeter program. TurboTax, April 15th, here in the States. You got to do your taxes, or you have to submit your taxes by then. TurboTax, very popular tax program. Communications, you have social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest. So you have a bunch of different social media programs. These are programs, social media communication programs. Instant messaging, Skype. These are all different ways to communicate using software. Education, some good education software out there. For example, Rosetta Stone, if you want to learn another language. Beacon, this is a classic typing program. Jumpstart, really good software for elementary students. Entertainment, this is why a lot of people buy computers. You're buying them for video games. You're buying them to play World of Warcraft or something else. Media players. So for example, if you're watching this, you might be watching these videos on a media player. If you're listening to music, you have media players. So you have your software. You have to install your software, and maybe you want to take the software off your computer. So we're looking at installation of software, and we're also looking at uninstalling software. Both as far as installing software, whether you're on a PC or a Mac, is fairly straightforward. A lot of them come with wizards. You just click, accept the user policies, and nobody reads the user policies. I think South Park did an episode about user policies in Apple. Again, fairly simple to follow. Uninstalling software on a PC, you just don't want to go in and delete something. You want to go through the uninstall process, and you can go through that via the control panel, or the software might have an uninstall feature right there where you're clicking the program to launch. When you're dealing with a PC, when you install software, it just doesn't put it in one place. Software gets installed throughout your computer. It has a lot of tentacles out there. It's like a tree with a lot of roots. And if you just chop off one, the roots are still there, which can cause problems. So the uninstall process is there to take out all the roots and remove the program altogether. Whether or not it does all the program it depends on the software. Mac, fairly simple to uninstall software. You just go to the application folder, click the icon, delete it. That should get rid of it. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. You probably want to look to see if there's an uninstall option. For example, all my Adobe products have uninstall features even on a Mac. I have a link there to an article if you want to know more about how to uninstall software from a Mac. Piracy. Arg. Piracy is illegal. This is where you take software and install it without the proper rights. You might be installing a copy of a copy. You might be BitTorrenting these files, and in other words, illegally downloading them. It is illegal to do so. Even if you don't care if it's illegal or not, the reason why I would suggest being very careful, if not doing it at all, is because viruses and malware lurk in a lot of pirated versions of software. This is going to be full of viruses typically. So let's say you do BitTorrents, you go to Pirate Bay, and you start to download a software, or you download music, or whatever you download. You have to be really careful because that's where a lot of bad stuff hangs out. And so you can really get some nasty viruses on your computer. So in general, piracy illegal, don't do it, just say no. If you work for a company and they're pirating software, good news for you, you can make some money by being a dirty rat. I'm kind of kidding, but you can make some money actually by turning them in. You can contact the manufacturer directly if you so let's say they're stealing Adobe products or Microsoft products, you can contact Adobe and Microsoft directly and report the stolen software. Or you can go to BSA, and I've got the website there as well as a phone number. If you report the software being pirated and then they find out it is pirated, you get a monetary reward for turning them in. Okay. Finally, our 3 to 5 links that I highly suggest, and these are some good ones. The first 3 have to deal with learning about software. So for example, if you really enjoyed the talk about computer programming and you want to learn Java or C++ or whatever, check out these 3 sites. We have lynda.com. Lynda.com is a membership-driven site. I pay about $25 a month for my membership, and it is well worth it. They have trainings on all sorts of different computer programs. Anybody in the creative world has a subscription to one of these 3 companies that I'm going to talk about because you're constantly learning new material. So lynda.com, excellent company to go through. $25 a month is the minimum membership, and you get access to their entire quite impressive library. The newer company on the block is Treehouse. This is the website. I don't have a membership there, but from everything I've heard and I've seen of Treehouse, I would also have no problems recommending them to anybody out there. Udemy, this one is just popped up on my radar. Udemy is a kind of a community-driven site, it looks like, where different instructors can offer their courses for a different amount of money. So your experience is going to vary, I would imagine, depending on how good the instructor is. So also worth checking out. I have seen some free courses available, so be sure to give them a look. 2 other ones, Evernote, I just talked about, definitely worth checking out. They have a free version, very powerful. There's a little bit of learning curve. It's not too bad. Again, highly check that out. And OpenOffice, we talked about Office Suites. If you are a student and you can't afford Microsoft Office, or you can't afford the iWorks, or you don't have a Mac, check out OpenOffice. You're not losing features. It's not like you're getting this free version and you're missing stuff. OpenOffice is incredibly powerful. Again, the one caveat I would offer is make sure that whatever shop you're in or wherever you're at, everybody's using the same software. Be sure there. Anyways, that's it from me. Hope you've enjoyed it. This concludes Lesson 3 Software. In Lesson 4, we're going to start taking a look at the interwebs. Yes, the internet. Until then, thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you for our next series of videos. Bye-bye.
My dear students, from this video, I hope that you have understood and now you can define an application software. You can categorize application software on the basis of its use, and you can identify software packages and custom built application based on the requirements of the customers or the users of the computer. Now let's discuss them one by one. Dear students, so far we have seen what an application software is. You must have used many application software in your previous classes earlier, such as MS Paint for drawing and coloring, MS Word for preparing documents, MS PowerPoint for preparing presentations, and many other software. Now, an application software is used to perform operations for a specific task such as word processing, spreadsheet, presentation, multimedia, etc. An application software has 2 types: application packages and customized software. An application package is a collection of some general purpose applications such as Microsoft Office, Adobe, etc. You know that Microsoft Office comes with Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Access, Microsoft Excel, and many other applications. Customized software are also called tailor-made software. These software are made as per the specific requirement of an organization or individuals, such as a medical store software, school or university software, bank software, etc. Students, now To get a better idea of application packages, let's watch this video together and realize what application packages are.
Custom software, also known as bespoke software or tailor-made software, is software that is specially developed for some specific organization or other user. As such, it can be contrasted with the use of software packages developed for the mass market, such as commercial off-the-shelf (COTS) software, or existing free software. Since custom software is developed for a single customer, it can accommodate that customer's particular preferences and expectations. Custom software may be developed in an iterative processes, allowing all nuances and possible hidden risks to be taken into account, including issues which were not mentioned in the original requirement specifications, which are, as a rule, never perfect. In particular, the first phase in the software development process may involve many departments, including marketing, engineering, research and development, and general management. Large companies commonly use custom software for critical functions, including content management, inventory management, customer management, human resource management, or otherwise to fill the gaps present in the existing software packages. Often such software is legacy software, developed before COTS or free software packages offering the required functionality became available. Custom software development is often considered expensive compared to off-the-shelf solutions or products. This can be true if one is speaking of typical challenges and typical solutions. However, it is not always true. In many cases, COTS software requires customization to correctly support the buyer's operations. The cost and delay of COTS customization can even add up to the expense of developing custom software. Cost is not the only consideration, however, as the decision to opt for custom software often includes the requirement for the purchaser to own the source code, to secure the possibility of future development or modifications to the installed system. Additionally, COTS comes with upfront license costs which vary enormously, but sometimes run into the millions in terms of dollars. Furthermore, the big software houses that release COTS products revamp their product very frequently. Thus, a particular customization may need to be upgraded for compatibility every 2 to 4 years. Given the cost of customization, such upgrades also turn out to be expensive, as a dedicated product release cycle will have to be earmarked for them. The decision to build a custom software or go for a COTS implementation would usually rest on one or more of the following factors. Finances, both cost and benefit. The upfront license cost for COTS products mean that a thorough cost-benefit analysis of the business case needs to be done. However, it is widely known that large custom software projects cannot fix all three of scope, time/cost and quality constant, so either the cost or the benefits of a custom software project will be subject to some degree of uncertainty, even disregarding the uncertainty around the business benefits of a feature that is successfully implemented. Supplier, in the case of COTS, is the supplier likely to remain in business long, and will there be adequate support and customization available? Alternatively, will there be a realistic possibility of getting support and customization from third parties? In the case of custom software, the software development may be outsourced or done in-house. If it is outsourced, the question is the supplier reputable, and do they have a good track record? Time to market. COTS products usually have a quicker time to market. Size of implementation. COTS comes with standardization of business processes and reporting. For a global or national organization, these can bring in gains in cost savings, efficiency and productivity, if the branch offices are all willing and able to use the same COTS without heavy customizations, which is not always a given.
Now students, after watching this video, I hope that you can write the answers of these questions. What are application packages? What are custom software? Students, in the light of this video, I request you to please read page number 9 to 10 from your textbook. Differentiate between package software, custom software, name some application packages. You can use your textbook as your reference guide to answer this question. Now let's see what we can do after watching this video lesson. Can you answer the following questions? You can match your answers with the answers given in this video. What is an application software? An application software is used to perform a specific task such as word processing, multimedia presentation, etc. Name types of application software. Software packages and customized top software are common types of application software. Now let's have a brief recap of the topic that we have covered in this video. Computer software is of two types, system software and application software. A system software controls the various activities of the computer system. Operating system is a type of system software. An application software is made to perform specific tasks such as a word processing, spreadsheet, presentation, etc. An application software is of two types, software packages and customized software. Software packages are general purpose application programs such as Microsoft Office Suite. Customized software are made as per the requirement of the user, such as hospital, bank, universities, etc. Students, now let's see what we have covered in this video lesson. You are required to write the answers of these questions from the textbook. You can use your textbook as your reference guide. You can watch the video again where you need the clarity of any topic. What do you understand by application software? What are its various types? What are various advantages of using high-level programming languages? What are utility programs? Mention any four utility programs and discuss their importance. What do you mean by custom software? Explain with example. What are the different tasks performed by an operating system? Explain briefly. You are also required to solve exercise A, B, C, and F from the end of the unit 1. Students, I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Hope to see you in the next video from chapter number 2 from your textbook. Till then, take care of yourselves and Allah Hafiz.